On Find the Right Road today, I'm going to review this 2021 Ford Mustang Mach E. Does it really deserve the Mustang name it's been given? And how does it compare against its direct competitor, the Tesla Model Y? Stick around to find out. And before I dive into the particulars of this 2021 Ford Mustang Mach E, let me give a shout out to Milnes Ford of Lapeer, Michigan, and my friend Joshua, who was kind enough to loan me this vehicle to review today, just as he did with the Bronco Sport. And I'll put a link to the dealership as well as my Bronco Sport review in the description below, in case it's something you're interested in checking out. Probably the best place to start when talking about the Mustang Mach E is to deal with the name. When Ford announced that they were going to put the Mustang name on a four-door electric SUV, when a Mustang is a two-door V8 powered muscle car, you think of carving up those roads and acceleration. And so there was some mixed reaction. Some Mustang fans were not happy to see its name being slapped on an all-electric four-door, but I understand where Ford was coming from. They're going after that demographic that is raising their children, and they really want the four-door SUV, or maybe, like myself, they live in a Four Seasons climate, and they want something to drive in the wintertime where they can't drive their Mustang. So I totally understand where they're coming from.
The Mustang Mach-E comes in a variety of configurations. There are two batteries to choose from. The standard range battery has a capacity of 68 kilowatt hours. The extended range battery is 88 kilowatt hours. It comes in rear-wheel drive or electronic all-wheel drive configurations. And there are four models to choose from. The base model is called Select. It has a starting price of $42,995. Standard range battery only, rear-wheel drive or optional all-wheel drive, 266 horsepower, 230 miles of range in rear-wheel drive, and 211 miles of range in all-wheel drive. It does 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds in rear-wheel drive and 5.2 seconds in all-wheel drive. The next step up is the California Route 1. Its starting price is $49,800, extended range battery only, rear-wheel drive only, 290 horsepower, 305 miles of range, and will do 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. When you step up to the California Route 1, you now get a 360-degree surround camera, active park assist, memory seats and mirrors, panoramic fixed glass roof, power folding mirrors, and the BlueCruise prep kit. Now, BlueCruise is Ford's autonomous driving mode, which is currently not available, and I'll discuss that in more detail later in the video. The next step above that is the one that I test drove, which is the Premium. Its starting price is $47,000, although the model I tested with options was $54,700. Standard or extended range battery, rear-wheel drive or electronic all-wheel drive, 290 horsepower in rear-wheel drive configuration, 346 horsepower in all-wheel drive. Range is 300 miles in rear-wheel drive, 270 miles in all-wheel drive. It'll do 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds in rear-wheel drive and 4.8 seconds in all-wheel drive. When you step up to the Premium, it now adds heated front seats and steering wheel, hands-free foot-activated power liftgate, an upgraded Bang & Olufsen entertainment system, and you get 19-inch wheels as opposed to the 18-inch standards. Later in the summer of 2021, we will see the final model released, which is called the GT. Its starting price will be $59,900, extended range battery only, all-wheel drive only, 480 horsepower, a 250-mile range, or only 235 miles of range if you get it with the Performance Edition option. 0 to 60 will be 3.8 seconds, and with the Performance Edition, it'll do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. It comes with 20-inch rims, upgraded seats, and the panoramic fixed glass roof becomes an option as opposed to standard.
When you buy a Mustang Mach E, you will only receive one key fob. And the reason for that is Ford anticipates most of their buyers will be using the Ford Pass app that you download to your cell phone. You set it up using the VIN number of the vehicle and some login information that Ford provides the buyer. And that app will allow you to check the range on the battery, to put the windows up and down, to lock and unlock the doors. All of that can be accessed through the Ford Pass app. Now, what happens if your cell phone is dead and you don't have the key fob? Well, that's okay, because like most Ford vehicles, on the B pillar of the driver's door, you have the numeric keypad where you can punch in the 5-digit code and it will allow you to open the door. Now, speaking of opening the doors, this does not have a traditional door handle. It has this little round electronic button, and you push that button and it unlocks the door for you, and it has this little handle that allows you to pull the door open. Now, if I move around to the back, you'll notice there is no handle. I have the button to unlock it, but what Ford realized as they were developing the vehicle is they found that most customers didn't need a handle to pull the back door open. They were just going to reach in and pull it open this way. And so they've put a little rubber guard here on the door, anticipating that that is how customers would open the rear doors on the Mach E. Now, as I kneel here with the door open, you can really tell where the battery is located in this vehicle. You see this large area right here that runs the whole length of the vehicle. That is where your battery is located. And so because of the size of that battery, you notice you only have a 5.7-inch ground clearance level. Now, Ford doesn't anticipate people are buying this to go off-roading, so it's really not a concern. But it is something to point out that I noticed it is a little bit of a high sill in getting in and out of the vehicle, and I think part of that reason is because of the location of the battery. As we look at the front of the Mach E, obviously you see the Mustang logo in the center, and the interesting kind of shape here, some have described as kind of a handlebar mustache kind of look. It's more pronounced, obviously, on a vehicle of different colors, whereas on this black on black, it's not as pronounced. You have your front camera here. There are vents that open here on each side for ventilating the battery, and that's all automated. Nothing you need to worry about. And then you have sensors here for your adaptive cruise control as well. And of course, your LED headlamps.
The front trunk, or frunk, can only be released using a handle underneath the dash on the driver's side. There is no release in front on the key fob or in the Ford Pass app in order to open it. Once open, it does not require a prop rod in order to remain open. It has a removable divider inside that will give you 4.7 cubic feet of cargo space once removed. More than enough for a typical airline 22-inch carry-on bag. The area has 2 cup holders and a drain plug in the bottom in the event you need to wash it out.
For charging the Mach E, the access port is here on the front quarter panel, just in front of the driver's door. You push the panel and it flips open. You have a charger here, and you have this flip-down panel, which gives you access to the fast charger. Ford has arranged with Electrify America to utilize their network, and that brings up an interesting subject in comparison to a Tesla. Because in Tesla's case, they make all the chargers for the Teslas, whereas Ford has designed this vehicle to use with different manufacturers' charging systems. And so it comes with a charger, which I'll get to, that's in the trunk, but you may find you have issues charging in certain locations. You may need adapters in order to plug it in. You may get errors on the console when it comes to utilizing a certain charging system. So it's really, there's a few bugs that are still being worked out between the charging companies and Ford, just to make sure that everything is communicating properly. And as we look at the rear of the Mustang Mach E, you see you have the Mustang logo, you have your rear backup camera. You have probably the most pronounced characteristic that will remind you of a Mustang, which is this unique taillight pattern. And I'll put up on the screen an image of what a traditional Mustang taillights look like, and you'll see the resemblance. It's interesting that Ford made the decision that there is no release here for the tailgate. If you want to open this, you have to do it with your phone app or from the display inside or from the key fob in order to open it. Now, once you open the tailgate area here, you'll notice on this Premium Edition, it comes with the cargo cover. You have a panel that lifts up, and underneath this panel, you have the charger, the portable charger that comes with the Mach E. This can be plugged into a standard 110 wall outlet. There's also an adapter that comes with it. If you happen to have a 220 connection at home you want to plug into for faster charging, you can do that. You also get a little portable compressor comes in here. And so that's all underneath this panel right here. You've got, of course, some latch down points. You have your standard 60-40 split rear seats. Your cargo space back here is 29.7 cubic feet. If I fold the seats down, it goes up to 59.7 cubic feet, which gives you lots of space to put a lot of things back here. Now, as I hop in the back seat, I will say that I am 5'10", that this premium model does come with the glass roof panel, and that I have a great deal of headroom here. I do not feel scrunched in any way. The driver's seat is in the driving position I left it in when I was driving the vehicle, so I certainly have enough leg room here. If I slide over, I can show you that there is, of course, a fold-down armrest with cup holders and your vents for ventilation, as well as a standard USB and a USB-C charging port are available here for the backseat occupants. I have to say, the materials are very nice. I kind of like this perforated material they've used here. It's comfortable. I think I could handle a long ride sitting here in the back seat of this vehicle. So now I've jumped inside the Mustang Mach E, and I'm going to take it for a spin. So first thing is use the dial transmission to turn it over to drive. It has an L for low, and I guess that L is there so that if you're going downhill, it will slow you down in the event that you're going down a steep incline of some kind.
Like a Tesla, the vast majority of controls are on the center LCD. In the Mach E, the display is a high-definition 15.5 inches and has a unique volume control wheel at the bottom. I guess in consumer testing, Ford found that customers want the touch and feel of a traditional wheel for their volume control. The LCD controls a wide variety of functions, including a personalization system, where you can create individual profiles for different drivers. Some of the other items that can be controlled from the display include battery life and charging status, driving modes, satellite radio, climate controls, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, navigation system, surround cameras, park assist system, and valet mode.
Now, one of the first things I'm going to want to do is bring up the different driving modes and decide which driving mode I want to put it in. So right now I have it in what's called Whisper. So you can kind of think of that as, okay, this is the eco type of mode. There is a setting called Engage, which I kind of consider more of a standard or sport mode. And then, of course, you have Unbridled, which is the performance mode. And the moment you put it in Unbridled, not only does the graphics change, both here on the display through the dashboard, as well as on the main display, but you can feel the suspension and everything, the characteristics, the behavior of the vehicle really changes as soon as you put it in Unbridled. And of course, it unleashes the full capability of the vehicle. And so, would I call this fast like a Mustang GT or a GT350? Of course not. But this Premium Edition is pretty quick when you put it in Unbridled. With the larger battery pack that it has, with the all-wheel drive applying power to the pavement from all four, it will get up and run. Now, one of the things you notice is it's definitely an SUV. It's quiet, it's roomy. you know, as I think about the Tesla that I drove from Detroit to Tampa, Florida, 1,200 miles in one day. If you're interested in that video, I'll put a link in the description below. That was a Model Y Performance Edition. And that is going to be a vehicle that's more comparable to the GT model of the Mach E when it comes out. But this is definitely got, I think, more than enough pickup for the average consumer who's going to buy it. They're not going to want the GT unless you happen to be a Mustang GT 350 owner and you really want the horsepower. Then maybe you'll pass on the $60,000 GT model. So on your steering wheel, on your left-hand side, you have your controls for your cruise control, as well as the lane assist and the adaptive cruise control, of course. On the right is your volume controls. So obviously turn signal on the left, your windshield wipers on the right. Comparing this to a Tesla, I think one of the things I like about it is the addition of the extra display. I really think it's helpful when I want to focus on the road. I like the ability that I can just glance straight down and see what my speed is, see what the condition of my cruise control is, as well as how much range is remaining in the vehicle. And that's something that you don't get in a Tesla where everything is in the center stack display. Now, I am surprised that neither manufacturer has come up with just doing a heads-up display, which I think is the safest and best way to do it. And perhaps maybe that's something we'll see in a vehicle like this in the future. Visibility with the vehicle is good, both front, back, although back is a little bit limited because you do have that kind of smaller sloping rear window. And of course, visibility out the sides, mirrors, everything is excellent. Hard to know with the glass roof panel. There is no shade for it. There is no auto tinting feature for it. So I'm not sure if you're in a warmer climate, let's say you live in Florida, Arizona, California, and you're going to drive this year round, whether you would find that there's enough tinting in the vehicle to, in order to help keep the climate in the compartment here at a more comfortable level. Now, one of the things that the unbridled mode is supposed to give me is some additional kind of fake engine noise, I guess, in the compartment here so that it sounds more performance-like. But I have to be honest with you, having driven it now a little bit, I really don't hear it. Now, maybe I'm not accelerating hard enough to hear it. Maybe that is what it is. But I'm not sure I'm that big a fan of that sort of thing anyways. What I realized later was I had the propulsion sound turned off on the display. Now let me cover BlueCruise, the upcoming autonomous driving mode that the Mach E will have. It will be available for those models that have the Ford Copilot 360 Active 2.0 package included. It should be available sometime in the third quarter of 2021. For $600, you get a 3-year subscription, and it will be installed with an over-the-air vehicle update. It'll be very similar to the General Motors Super Cruise system. There are cameras that are monitoring the position of your head and your eyes to make sure you are paying attention to the road, and the system will work on approximately 100,000 miles of divided highways in the United States. And that concludes my review of the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach E. What do you think of the vehicle? Do you think it deserves the Mustang name? Why don't you place some comments down below and let me know what you think. My name is Tom Stroup. You've been watching Find the Right Road. If you enjoyed that video, please click the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. And I'll catch you next time.